The Greg Kelly Show.
Well, this is interesting and kind of sad. We're hearing from the father of the shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks. You notice they always have a middle name? John Wayne Gacy, Thomas Matthew Crooks. Usually because the media just report the whole name. I mean, I'm Gregory Raymond Kelly, but nobody ever says that. But since it's part of the legal name, anyway, what's his name? Thomas Crooks. The father speaks out for the first time after son tried to assassinate former president. Yeah, let's go through this. Has revealed the father of the would-be assassin, Thomas Crooks, has revealed the family is just trying to, quote, take care of ourselves as he stepped out in public for the first time since the shooting. Matthew Brian Crooks, 53, made the remarks as he was spotted leaving a grocery store on Monday, Fox reported. We just want to try to take care of ourselves right now. Please, just give us our space, Crooks said as he loaded bag loads of items into his car. It looks like the grocery store. We're going to release a statement when our legal counsel advises us to do so. Until then, we have no comment. It marks the first time the dad has spoken out since his 20-year-old son opened fire with an AR-15 rifle during Trump's campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th. Hey, why haven't we seen a picture of the rifle? Why not? Why don't we see that rifle? Why don't they show it? Well, I'll tell you what. People were asking that yesterday. I saw the Mannlicher Carcano while I wasn't alive, but Americans saw it, the weapon that was used to kill Kennedy, we think. The cops brought it right out and held it up so everybody could see. Now, if they were in on it, look, I think there was a cover-up, but I don't think everybody was in on it. That weapon was involved. The cops showed it off. The would-be assassin was, but they don't do that now. Why not? The would-be assassin was shot dead by a Secret Service counter-sniper just moments after he managed to clip the former president in the ear with one of his bullets. Crooks's father, a registered libertarian, had legally purchased the rifle used in his son's attack. The family have been cooperating with authorities as they continue to probe the assassination attempt. The feds have yet to share a motive for the attack. So far, officials have not found any ideological bent that could help explain Crooks's actions. Investigators who have hey, how about he just hangs around in the society at large? Inundated day in and day out with Trump's a threat to democracy. Trump is a menace. What did Joe Biden say just a couple of seconds ago on that tape? He's a threat to the community. The community. I've heard of that, bank robbers are a threat to the community. Trump? Crooks had also looked up dates for the Democrat National Convention as well as Trump appearances. Hey, not to nitpick this, the father of the wannabe assassin, but he's just coming out of the grocery store, and I notice in his cart, you know what he's got? A lot of stuff you just don't need. This is a little. It's not really on him. A lot of people do this. You know what his cart is crammed with? Soda. He's got a big case of Crush. They still make that stuff. Orange soda. It's not diet. Right? So he's getting all the sugar. If you're going to drink soda, you really should drink diet soda. It tastes just as good. And but he's got a lot of soda, and then he's got some sort of green soda. I always notice when I'm in a grocery store, well, especially when I was single, like every now and then I'd have to go to the grocery store and buy stuff, basically when I was hungry. And I noticed all the junk people have in there, including my cart, all the stuff that you really don't need for survival. Soda is not going to nourish you. And neither is more soda. Neither is Ring Dings or Fritos or any of that junk. He does have one, looks like a carton of eggs in the little area where you can sit your kid, in those shopping. Yeah. Again, not to give the guy a hard time, but that's everybody. That's America. A lot of waste, a lot of stuff. I never want to drink a soda again. I had some on Friday. My face almost exploded. I've been avoiding it. And I felt so bloated and everything like that. It does nothing for anybody. If you got to drink it, very, very, very small doses. All right, we'll stay on. Oh, and we have this. I want to drive this home. That Cheatle yesterday, I believe we caught her lying. Okay? I believe we caught her lying or evasive to the point of deception. One of our favorites is Byron Donalds, the Republican from Florida. Cut 36, please. Cut 36.
When the counter sniper team was on the roof and they identified that there was suspicious activity on the roof in question, What was the chain of command's orders around the person on said roof? Because I'm quite sure somebody saw in under your organization, the Secret Service, I'm quite sure somebody saw the shooter on the roof. So what was the communication through the chain of command to deal with said person?
What I can tell you is that when the individual was identified by the counter sniper, they took one shot and neutralized that individual.
But that was after the shooter already took a shot. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So what you're saying now is that the Secret Service did not see the shooter on the roof until after the shooter took a shot?
I do not have all of those details at this time.
If you don't have those details after 9 days, Director, then what you're telling me is that you guys didn't see it. Is that correct?
I am telling you I don't have all the details of the sequence at this time.
Director, it's been 9 days. Either you have the information or you do not. Is that correct?
We are still in the process of conducting interviews and an investigation.
Okay. You see how you tell the truth carefully enough, you don't have to lie. I don't have all the details of the sequence. Yeah, but what about the critical stuff I'm asking you about right now? When did he see the guy? Now, I know that she must know this because, well, listen to this. She actually talked to the Secret Service guy, the good guy, the shooter. Let's see here. Cut 27. This is the first question you're going to ask the guy. Hey, when did you acquire him? How long were you looking at him? Cut 37, please.
Have you talked to the counter sniper who took the shot that took out the bad guy?
Yes, I have.
And can you tell us about that conversation?
I would not want to reveal conversations that I've had with my employees.
But that's exactly the kind of information the American people want to know. American people who pay your salary.
I understand.
And tries to make it all sound righteous, right? I'm not going to reveal with my employees. This is investigative work. This is evidence. This is data. It's ours, not yours. It's ours. That man who pulled the trigger, we'd like to know more. I mean, we like him, right? We want to know more. I don't even have to know the guy's name. I do want to know, was he waiting for permission to fire? Did he have him under surveillance for 5 minutes, as some reports indicate online? You know about these online reports? Well, that's a conspiracy theory. Well, shut up. This is called critical thinking. And we should be engaged in it. All right, so we went through the Joe stuff. You want to hear a real press conference? You want to hear somebody who's not afraid to say stuff? Oh, one other thing. Cut 38. Cut 38.
Spoke to anyone at the White House since July 13th?
Yes, I have.
Who'd you talk to?
I have briefed the president and the vice president.
Talked to the First Lady?
No, I have not.
Talked to the White House staff? Anyone in the White House communications?
No, I have not.
Very careful in that answer. Did you speak to anybody? You know what I think she's doing? Email. Did you speak to anybody? She looks flabbergasted. No, I did not. Ooh, this is a deceptive woman. She's gone now, but she's still on the hook. There will still be work, and I want to know about her. I don't care about her communications with President Biden. I care about her communications with Vice President Cheney. Yeah, the guy back in the day. Because I don't know if you've been following this, but a lot of folks are talking about the stuff that I have uncovered here. And let's see here. She wrote a book called Oath and Honor. And throughout the book, this is Liz Cheney's book. And you know how much she hates him. We got hours of audio where she's yelling and screaming about what a threat to democracy is and how he can't be anywhere near the White House. Liz Cheney writes this 3 times in her book. For more than 7 years after the attacks of September 11th, 2001, I had been a Secret Service protectee. Okay. And then she tells us that again later in the book. For more than 7 years, while my dad was vice president, I was a Secret Service protectee. The brave, patriotic, and professional men and women of the Secret Service had kept my family and me safe. I have stayed in touch with many of them for nearly 20 years. Is Kim Cheatle one of them? Because I have a picture of Kim Cheatle and Dick Cheney together at a Christmas party, but it looks like a family Christmas party. Is this one of the people you were stayed in touch with? Because there's more going on here. The January 6th stuff. She was very much, let's see here. The Secret Service normally refuses to produce this type of material, which included intelligence and law enforcement sensitive information, and does so only when compelled by a court. She's talking about radio transmissions, chat messages, and the like, emails. Their decision to provide it to the Select Committee reflected the gravity of the issues we were addressing. Oh, yeah? Or maybe their complicity with the deep state. That could be too. The January 6th committee conducted a business meeting on October 13th, 2022. The committee had a number of options for structuring this meeting. We had secured new documentary evidence from the National Archives and the Secret Service. National Archives, who brought to you the criminal complaint against Donald Trump that sparked the raid on Mar-a-Lago. And you got the Secret Service at the same meeting? Same type of meeting? What else we got here? And then she tells us how she arranged for a special service, special protection. Another retired agent would drive me to and from the Capitol and remain on standby throughout the day. And in the days that followed January 6th, a number of other former agents provided a private security detail. These were some of the same people who had protected my family when the threat we faced was from al-Qaeda terrorists. Now they were protecting me again, this time in the face of threats from our fellow citizens, mobilized to violence by an American president. Ooh, how dramatic. And how fake. How fake. You're fake. How about this one? Liz Cheney's book, Oath and Honor. And remember, the oath she takes, the oath she's talking about is an oath to protect the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. The thing is, Liz, your opinion of the Constitution isn't the final say. You're one of 435 people. We have a Supreme Court to figure out what some of these amendments say. Smartest people in the world can look at the same law and see the opposite. 5-4 decisions, anyone? She's talking about her husband here, Phil. They all go over to the old man's house, Dick Cheney. The next day, Phil, the kids, and I went to my parents' house for a New Year's Day lunch. As we were leaving, my father came outside to the driveway. He walked around to the passenger side of my car and gave me a hug. Then he looked at me and with steel in his voice said, "Defend the Republic, daughter." "I will, Dad. Always." Defend the Republic, daughter. Who calls their daughter, daughter? I've never heard that. I have 2 daughters. Am I going to do I do that? Son? I've heard of that. Son, tell me about your day in school. Daughter, tell me. No, nobody says that. Except maybe the weirdo Cheney house, where they are still scarred for life from the horrendous fallout, not the Iraq war that they started with the fake intelligence. They're scarred for life, not by the death of hundreds of thousands of people, including Iraqi innocent women and children. Yeah. We did that. And by the way, that happens in every war. That's why you only want to go to war unless it's absolutely necessary. And, oh, by the way, we haven't talked about it in a while. Israel had no choice but to go to war against the brutal, savage Hamas. And yes, women and children will die in such a conflict. But it was a conflict of last resort, and they had no choice. Just like on 9/11, we responded to Afghanistan, and I'd do it again. I'd do it better. I would have done it quicker than George W. Gave the Taliban a month-long head start. Remember that one? Man, it's one of the many reasons why MAGA is a thing now, okay? Because we were lied to. They exploited our patriotism. They're not paid. We silly people in this, we're going to go for it. We're a lot smarter. We're still patriotic, but we're a lot smarter and savvier. Okay? And we know what you're in it for, and we know what we want. We just want to be left alone. We want reasonable national security. We want a border. We want prosperity and peace. Okay? This new world order's crap in the climate change and electric cars for everybody and windmills. Huh? And transgender children. Oh, poor Elon Musk. Did you hear what happened to Elon Musk's son? Elon is a hero. That man is a hero. They went after his son, and that guy is on a warpath. I'm sorry what happened to his son, but I'm so glad he's in the fight. We'll be right back with that.
Greg Kelly. This is the Greg Kelly Show.
Trump is already bringing peace to the world. This is very interesting. You know, the Ukraine-Russia war, for whatever reason, nobody seems to be talking about peace, except Trump. Remember during that CNN town hall? I want the dying to stop. And they treated him like a lunatic. You know, he's like, do you want Russia to win? I want the dying to stop. Trump, the only significant figure in the world talking about peace, peace, peace. Let's end this thing. Let's find a way to end it. Well, what about all the territory? Hey, go see Obama and Bush. They're the guys who gave up territory. Crimea was annexed, all that stuff. The map of Ukraine did not get smaller under Trump. So, Zelensky there, he reads the newspapers or the internet. He knows that Trump is probably coming back. And listen to this. I haven't heard a peep. I haven't heard anything like this out of him or anybody else that matter other than Trump. But now it's a different message. Go ahead.
For us. And it's important that you support it. And I heard your words. I think all of us understand that we have to finish the war as soon as possible, of course, not to lose people lives for us.
All right, you get it? You get it? We got to end this war as soon as possible. A lot of people think that, he's seeing the writing on the wall. What are some possible theories here? What could be going on? Well, some people think, let's see here, he wants the conflict ended as soon as possible, suddenly emphasizing the need to prevent further loss of life. This statement was made during a meeting with Cardinal Pietro Parolin and has sparked a range of reactions on social media. Some speculate that the call for peace is influenced by the potential re-election of Donald Trump, who is expected to cut off funding for Ukraine, while others suggest it may be motivated by fears of losing financial support or being exposed for alleged corruption. I mean, corruption, that's kind of what they do over there in the Ukraine, okay? It's just an inherently corrupt place. I have mixed feelings about President Z. All right, I do think we've been taken for a bit of a ride and no emphasis whatsoever, no pressure, right? Hey, peace. All right, when we come back, the old-timey press conference. Thank you, Dallas Police Department, 60 years late. More forthcoming, more transparent than today's corrupt government featuring the Secret Service.
You're listening to The Greg Kelly Show.
Again, to compare and contrast, this is Congressman Cloud asking some very reasonable questions about the attempted assassination and the murder of Corey Comparator, right? Very reasonable questions that, like, any professional would share with another professional, certainly if you knew the information, and or really share with the public. Forget professional. And this guy's on the Oversight Committee 9 days after the assassination. Listen to this. Cut 31, please, just to highlight, okay? Then we're going to go back to the old-timey press conference post-JFK assassination. Cut 31.
How many spent shell casings were found on the roof?
Again, I would have to defer you to the FBI's criminal investigation.
Okay. Word is that the car was rigged with explosives.
Again, sir, I'd have to defer you to the FBI's investigation.
Okay. You're not curious about, you don't communicate with them? No. Okay.
Stop. So, like, you don't communicate with them? You're the director of the Secret Service? You don't know any of this stuff? You don't know how many shell casings are on the damn roof? So here's, I'll find out his name when we're done, but he's the chief of the Dallas Police Department. It is November 23rd, not 9 days out, 1 day out from the assassination of JFK. I know there was some stuff that was covered up, but they didn't bring in the local Dallas police on it. And they certainly didn't bring in this guy. Go ahead, please.
I don't know.
Has he been associated with Oswald in the past?
We don't know that. We know that he works at the same place.
How long has he worked there?
I don't know how long the other man has worked.
What type of
establishment.
Oswald got to the other side of town. Is there anything that can come up of that? Did he get over by a bus, by a car?
I don't know. We have heard that he was picked up by a Negro in a car.
It's okay.
That is not confirmed.
No, it's not confirmed as far as I know.
Are you looking for the Negro?
We would like to know about him. If this is so, we would certainly like to find him.
Chief Curry, could you detail for us what led you to Oswald?
Not exactly, except in the building. When we went to the building, he was observed in the building at the time, but the manager told us that he worked there. And the officers passed him on up then because the manager said he is an employee.
Is that before the shooting or
after the shooting?
After the shooting.
You think the smudged fingerprints that have been found on the rifle which killed the president will be able to establish the identity of the killer?
We hope so, but I couldn't say positive at this time that they will be.
Would you enough to convict him?
I don't know whether it would be enough to convict him or not. If we can put his prints on the rifle, I certainly would connect him with the rifle. And if we can establish that this is the rifle that killed the president.
How many shots had been fired from the rifle?
3.
Chief?
Have you been able to trace the rifle? Do you know where it was
we're
purchased?
attempting to do that at this time.
Is there any connection yet between this and the firing at Major General Walker?
I do not know.
What was the subversive evidence on the other man that works in the building that you have as your subversive file?
Just that he attended meetings and was associated with groups that were left-wing groups. I don't know whether that was one of them.
Found a car, I guess, right?
No.
He doesn't have any car as far as you know?
No, as far as we know.
Did you say, Chief, that a policeman had seen him in the building?
Yes.
After the shot was
Yes.
fired? Why didn't he arrest him then?
Because the manager of the place told us that he was an employee. He said, he's all right, he's an employee.
Did he look suspicious to the policeman at this point?
I imagine the policeman was checking everyone he saw as he went into the building.
Well, then after this happened, what was done in terms of getting the trail back to Oswald?
The next thing we knew is when he turned up as a suspect in the murder of the police officer. And then the connection was made between the two.
Chief, did anyone see him shoot the police officer?
Yes.
Who was that?
I don't know the name,
Male or
but there's
female?
I think there were 3 witnesses. I understand.
Saw him shoot the officer.
Has he made any admissions at all about
No.
the shooting of the police officer?
No, he
Nothing.
denies everything.
Why do you think the police officer went to him in the street? What was the reason?
I think he suspected him because of a description that has been put out on the radio.
On the police radio.
Where did they
Chief,
get that?
has anyone come forward saying they had seen a rifle after hearing the first shot, possibly looking toward the window? Has anyone
I
seen
read in
the
the paper where someone said it, but we don't have it.
You don't have
I
that
don't have
person,
it,
and the
unless-
police department would like anybody to
Yes.
come forward who
Yes.
did see it.
Yes,
In other words, you're still looking for public help in this case.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Chief Curry, when you first knew of the Dallas policeman dead, what then led you to the theater? What information did you have from there?
I understand that someone called. I think
Stop
the
for a
ticket-
second. You get the idea, right? I mean, they're cooperating. This is not sensitive information anymore. Yet we got that lady not saying a damn thing. And somewhere in there, they ask how many shots, and the guy says 3. Very hard to hear the question. I think that might still be coming up, or we may have passed over it. That was Chief Jesse Curry. Jesse Curry. He died in 1980. He was, I saw a video of him. He's 50 years old when this, and he just looks like he's 65 or 70. I noticed that a lot about some of these old-timey videos, and you find out how old these guys are, and they're much older than they look. And I think it's a couple of things. Probably cigarettes more than anything else, right? Because, everybody smoked. It was like 10% of the population didn't smoke. Now it's like 7% of the population does. Kamala, again, just so tickled beyond measure. I will say this, her first appearances are her thing. But then she shows up for the interview with Charlemagne the God, and she doesn't know what to do. All right, turn up the volume on this. I want to see just for a moment. Are they really going with her? I hear Mark Kelly from Arizona might be the guy. All right, go ahead.
Morning that we have earned the support of enough delegates to secure the Democratic nomination. And I am so very honored, and I pledge to you I will spend the coming weeks continuing to unite our party so that we are ready to win in November. So, friends, we have 105 days until Election Day. And in that time, we've got some work to do.
Oh, stop.
But we're
She's
not
gonna be
afraid of hard work. We like hard work, don't we?
Oh, yeah, you worked so hard for this, so hard.
And we will win this election.
Don't count on it. Don't count on it.
We will.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Working hard. Working hard. Yeah, hard. Let's call up Willie Brown, find out how hard she worked. Let's ask Kamala about how... Never mind. I don't think she worked hard. You know what's working hard? Declaring 2 years prior, working, going through the snow in Iowa, knocking on doors and sitting in those dopey diners up in New Hampshire, right? Eating corn dogs, you know, just all that stuff that you got to do. Speech after speech, appearance after appearance. That's called, what's that word again? Democracy. I know it's not the best system of the world, but we kind of use it a lot, right? It's supposed to. Barack Obama likes her. Barack Obama has a crush on this woman, and there she is, the de facto Democrat nominee. I think she's on pills. I've said it before. Others have as well. Her manner is so removed from her circumstances. All right. Oh, Mark Gastineau, the world great. Just got a phone call. Mark Gastineau. Everybody see that profile of him in the paper? The New York Times, Mark Gastineau. That was fantastic. All right. Got to go to this because I'm glad I said it out loud. This is late June this year on this show. I was talking to Mark Halperin, and I had a theory about the debate, why they were having it as early as they were having it. And the New York Post tells me that I am totally right. Let me go through this. The New York Post reports today, and this is interesting, and not a lot of folks have picked this up, but I think they figured it out. They told Joe Biden to get out of this race or else they would 25th Amendment his ass, his rear end. Sorry about that. They would. So he had to get out. He had no choice. And one of the reasons they're here, they were able to switch to Kamala, is because he screwed up the debate so bad, right? But here's the thing. They knew he would screw it up. They knew it. They were around him. They saw what I saw. Why would you put him in the same room with Trump so early? 4 months early? Maybe you wanted him to fail, crash and burn, so you'd have all the justification you need to get rid of him. Listen to this. My conversation with all-around great guy and smart guy, Mark Halperin, who knows politics very, very well. Go ahead. This is a very early debate. Now, in conservative media, some of us have been speculating that this is really an audition in a way for Joe Biden. If he crashes and burns somehow, they have it early enough where they can make a switch to another nominee, which, quite frankly, sounds plausible to me. Maybe totally wrong, but what do you think of that?
I think I'm ready to hang up on you, Greg. I've spent so much of my year on this. I say respectfully and with appreciation for your sensibilities. But no, Joe Biden believes four things today that he believed a week ago, a month ago, and a year ago. Number one, he's the best candidate to beat Donald Trump. Number two, if he decided for some reason not to run, Kamala Harris would almost certainly be the Democratic nominee. Number three, Kamala Harris would lose to Donald Trump worse than Joe Biden. And number four, anyone else, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, and anyone you want to pick, the notion that they could not only topple Kamala Harris, but launch a presidential campaign in 3 weeks to get ready to run against the guy who's already built an aircraft carrier, Joe Biden thinks all those things are ridiculous. And therefore, no, he could freeze up and do his best Grandpa Simpson imitation in this debate. It will not change one iota his determination to stop Donald Trump from getting back to the White House.
If you let it go a few more seconds, he talks about how, and if I'm wrong about this, well, I'll have some explaining to do. Mark, you don't have any explaining to do. But I think my sensibilities were spot on here. Spot on. And the New York Post reports similar. It's totally. Yeah, everybody says it's fair game to talk about what the hell is his name again? Who headed the Willie Brown? Willie Brown. If you're curious about Willie Brown, he made a cameo in Godfather 3. Actually, that doesn't mean anything because I do not recommend you sit through Godfather 3 under any circumstances, okay, let alone to watch a cameo of Willie Brown. That movie was such a disappointment. I remember going on Christmas Day, 1990. We were so excited, and it was like they should have used old-fashioned cameras. It was a new look. It was terrible. Everything about it was terrible. Hey, did you guys look at the Godfather stories I did? Remember, Google Greg Kelly Godfather, and an amazing array of beautiful reports pop up from me that I did about the Godfather's production right here in New York City. It's a magical series. I really do recommend it. I'll be right back.
Greg Kelly. This is the Greg Kelly Show.
Did you know that Morgan Freeman did not have his first major role until the age of 52? Little factoid. If you waste your time on Instagram, all kinds of things will come your way. I could care less who the hell Kamala Harris's running mate's going to be. I just all this speculation, Gavin Newsom, Mark Kelly. I want to know more about how they engineered this coup. It was a bloody coup. I mean, we haven't heard the first damn thing about it. We don't know what the hell just happened. Joe Biden was yelling 2 weeks ago, oh, they're trying to throw me out of the race. 14 million people. 14 million people. So they said, I'm the guy. I'm not going anywhere. And then he sends an email to America. I'm going somewhere. I'm leaving. I'm just, man, these guys are arrogant. They are strange. And it's half the country. It's half the country. Hey, we got to go through some important stuff that Donald Trump has been saying about all this stuff, okay? Very few people have a Truth Social account. Listen to this. He put this out an hour ago. Does lying Kamala Harris think Joe Biden is fit to run the USA for the next 6 months? She must answer the question. Now it appears Joe is delegating his presidential authority to unelected Washington bureaucrats. He doesn't even trust his vice president. Who is running the country? Here's another one. Lying Kamala Harris destroys everything she touches. I can't believe it. They're turning crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in history of the United States, into a hero. He was pushed out of power like a dog. And look at what the radical left is able to do. MAGA 2024. Why did Fox News put up Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, where I am leading? They make me fight battles that I shouldn't have to fight. That's true. Fox doesn't give a damn, by the way. Fox does not give a damn. Most of those people over there, all right, they're getting $2 million a pop. $2 million a pop minimum. That including the executives. They're going to get to go to the White House Christmas party, no matter what. No matter who's in there. That's what they care about. The Biden-Harris administration did not properly protect me, and I was forced to take a bullet for democracy. It was my great honor to do so. All right. It's not wrong. ABC News fake news is such a joke. Among the absolute worst in the business. They try to make Crooked Joe into a brave warrior because he didn't have the guts to fight it out. He quit. They then tried to make Sleepy look like a great president. He was the worst. And lying Kamala into a competent person, which she is not. ABC, the home of George Slopadopoulos, is not worthy of holding a debate, of which I hope there will be many. MAGA 2024. I love it. Eric, hello.
Hey, listen, Greg. The so-called conference call with Biden, there was no way that was live. I mean, he sounded like maybe 10 years ago.
No, let me see here. No, it's not 10 years ago. It's now, or it's AI. But the stuff he's talking about is present day stuff. He's listing staff members who are there right now. He's talking about the decision that he made. My question is, was it AI or was it recorded? It was definitely not live. I think I agree with you. It was definitely not live.
Absolutely not.
All right,
Absolutely.
but it's not 10 years old.
No, I'm not saying it's 10 years. He sounded like it was 10 years ago in terms of him speaking coherently.
Nah, I mean, well, he was reading, and he could still read from time to time. And by the way, he's backstage. He's at his home. They could do multiple takes, and then they could just, you notice, people started laughing and reacting, and he just kept plowing on. He kept on reading.
Good point.
So, yeah, thank you. Bob in, where the hell are you? Connecticut, hi.
Hey, Greg. Hey.
Let's keep it normal, Bob. Let's keep it normal.
I'm going to try. It was a question, then I got a couple things that'll raise your eyebrows.
Yeah, that's what happened the last time we had to ban you. So what up?
Come on. Anyway, a couple days ago, I heard a judge that had like a show like Judge Janine out of California who had a whole bunch of thing on Kamala Giggles.
Yeah, Judge Joe Brown. Judge Joe Brown came out and really slammed her hard. That got some attention. Not enough. Judge Joe Brown. I don't know if they have previous beef, if they know each other or anything like that, but yeah, I saw some of that. Then I clicked on, yeah, it's on there. So some judge on TV doesn't like him. What difference does it make? I mean, there are a lot of people on TV who don't like Trump, right? I mean,
no, it was Kamala. He was putting this out.
I know. Judge Joe Brown didn't like Kamala. Didn't I say that? I saw that. I'm just saying that, okay, Judge Joe Brown doesn't like Kamala. You're right. Doesn't like Kamala. There are a lot of people on TV who don't like Trump. Hey, you know who does like Trump in the TV judge department? Judge Judy. Judge Judy likes Trump. I think she made it official. And by the way, if anybody ever gets on your nerves or catches you doing something you shouldn't be doing, just turn to them and say, hey, who made you Judge Judy an executioner? Get it?
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Viviana in Brooklyn, hello.
Hey, Greg, thank you for taking the call. Listen, now is the time for we the people to help Johnson with the balls he has to carry through. Just because they got rid of Cheatle, who was going to be their sacrificial scapegoat, doesn't mean that this investigation doesn't have to go through. We have to find out who was behind this and if there was inside help. Second, we need to also say now we need the voter ID because your plan is to get Kamala in there with the illegal vote. Regardless of what they say, they're going to push it. Thanks, Greg.
All right. Thank you, Viviana, very, very much. Very much. That reminds me, I got some video of Kamala telling a fake story about how she met with the German chancellor, and the German chancellor was all freaked out. Oh, my gosh, what's happening in America? You're preventing people from voting. And she tells this whole dramatic story, Kamala does. And then I looked it up. Guess what they do in Germany? You think they can just walk in off the street and vote in Germany? No way. They're too organized. They're too clean. They got their act together over there. You got to have voter ID. Voter ID in Germany. All right? And we bolted that country, didn't we? A lot of us did.